Many of us think that if we have some kind of relationship, some kind of aid in this life, some kind of comfort and support from another person, that it will help us in our endeavors. It will guide us along whatever path we're walking as it becomes softer and easier to traverse, to walk as an individual with somebody by our side or a group of people by our side. As human beings, we're very interested in being a part of groups, feeling a sense of community, because there is a void within us that needs a connection, a personal connection, and not just, but primarily a desire to feel wanted and to be wanted, but also a desire to share a purpose rather than just choosing our own purpose as an individual. It's so hard to prop up our own purpose. It's so hard to prop up ourselves emotionally, even spiritually, and definitely monetarily and societally, without being a part of either a group or a partnership with someone. I feel like I feel like what most of us desire is something that the vast majority of the human race just doesn't get and hasn't gotten most of the time. We don't exactly know what will complete us or what will truly help us. So we think that either friends, family, romantic connections, that particular one that we're looking for, will at least provide us this kind of like a crutch. The broken leg is the void within us. We have a broken leg emotionally and spiritually, and a lack of conclusions and self-purpose. And we feel like if we just had a crutch, that it would heal the leg. But perhaps it wouldn't. Perhaps we're looking for somebody to solve us rather than solving ourselves. Perhaps we're hoping that we will find purpose if many people around us or many people that we know or connect to feel like they have a sense of purpose, that it will add to our sense of purpose, or that it will become our sense of purpose. That's why a lot of people become religious or go into different friend groups or try to be popular, try to gain fame. The void of a lack of completion. As social animals, we try to fill it with people. And a lot of the time with their understanding, not our own self-conceived understanding. I don't know really the solution to this. This isn't a video where I'm going to be like, this is a solution. This is the way to get past it. But I know that I have felt that lack in my own life. I, for one, feel like if I found, the right woman out there, that we could emotionally support each other, that we can share our spiritual practices, do spiritual activities together, offerings to the gods, meditation, magic, sage smudging. We can even do sigil paintings together. Or something like walking through nature and gathering various materials from the landscape and creating little offering areas, weaving the leaves together, stacking the sticks, creating little idols to worship nature in herself, in nature's self, with her pieces, and respecting nature, getting close to nature, getting close to the gods and goddesses. A part of me thinks that, me finding that particular woman, that special connection, doing these spiritual activities. Of course, physical attraction should be there as well, but the spiritual connection and maybe the intellectual connection as well, connecting over history, psychoanalysis, philosophy. I have all these dreams and hopes and things that I want from someone else. And I think that a big part of it is that I think that if I find these additions to the equation, that it will equal wholeness. In my head, the only thing that equals happiness is if I add a certain number, if I add a certain quantity. That quantity is a woman that I can form a deeper connection with than just physical. Because the physical ones don't last as long. And the couple deeper connections that I found, they didn't last as long for other reasons, but I feel like that's the way to go. But that's just full disclosure. me being vulnerable, but people in general. I feel like we want community or a romantic partner or a group, even if it's just something online. Or maybe it's just something that, maybe it's a group that has long since passed, that has gone outside of this world, who has been gone for a long time. But we take up a philosophy and we're like, this is who I am. This is what I vibe with. This is what I wish to follow. Because not only am I a part of a community now, I'm part of a community that exists in the mind space of man, not just physically, not just a group of physical people, but a group that has long since been gone, that is eager for my addition. And it's in a philosophical way. This idea is something that I want to be a part of, no matter how long since it has died. Very specific and small instances I'm talking about with that one. But there's a number of ways to feel like you feel that communal void with individuals, with communities, with long dead communities, with philosophical allegiances, religious allegiances, spiritual allegiances, even with nature itself. I think that a lot of the time we're approaching the problem from the wrong direction. We have to figure out how we can be okay by ourselves before we can help others and be in a beneficial, a coherent, and a relationship of equal reciprocity with either a group of individuals or a single individual beside us. We need to figure out how to be okay by ourselves in order to be not toxic but beneficial to anybody that we know, I think. And that's difficult, because that goes against our base instinct of, I am incomplete and I want to complete myself with another person or other people. And perhaps that's not a bad thing to want or to seek after. I don't think it is a bad thing at all. But I think that there's frustration if we join a group or get together with people or another individual, and what we want doesn't come out of them, that they're not the cornucopia of purpose or wholeness that we wanted them to be or thought that they would be. We become frustrated and we become a toxic person towards them. And because not only are we becoming toxic because they're not giving us what we want, we also become toxic because we start questioning whether the whole reason we got with them or into this group to begin with was valid. And if you come to that situation, and I haven't come to this honesty in the past, but if we come to the situation, I think it's good to just communicate that with your group or the individual that you're trying to be with. Because assuming that you've chosen well and you think you can trust these people or this other individual, but even if you can't, being honest, I think, is what would save a lot of these circumstances. When you don't really get out of a relationship what you want, I think honesty about what you thought you wanted and what you feel like you're getting would be beneficial. But also think about, what are you offering to that group or that other individual? It's not just all about us. We want to control our pain by adding someone else into the void without truly understanding the void, its shape, or what could bridge the gap between us and the wholeness that we seek. These are just questions. I don't think that I have a complete answer here. But I will say that no matter what you choose or who you are or what you're seeking, it's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to not get what you want and to try to rework a situation. If you're frustrated with your situation, with the other person or the group, try to understand that completion doesn't happen immediately. And it doesn't happen just by adding people. It requires us to build bridges with the experiences that we have with people. And between the gaps that we thought would be crossed just by the presence of another. We have to build those bridges. And don't give up on people too easily. Don't relinquish a relationship or your union with a group or your participation in a group or with another person too easily. Try to figure out, hey, maybe this isn't what I was expecting, but maybe I can make this work. As long as they're not toxic, as long as they're not hurting you or hurting other people, or saying, you have to believe this, you have to believe this. I don't accept you unless you believe this, or I want you to behave this way. If you don't behave this way, I'm going to be very mad. I'm be mad this way and this way and this way. If somebody's willing to work with you, work with them. If you feel like maybe you're not getting everything you want out of a group or with another person, try to figure out if the group's right for you, another person is right for you. And if you feel like there's a way to bridge the gap, be willing to work just as hard as the other person. Even more so, since that we thought this relationship would complete us. And I think that's the best advice I can give. We can only control our own happiness by completely understanding it and not expecting other people to take it away from us. Somebody cannot take away a void or fill a void for us. We have to shape the void so that it can accept and be filled by the situations and people we find ourselves with. At any rate, this has been a bit of a rant. If you like this video at all, hit that thumbs up down there. It really helps out the channel. Hit that like button. Please feel free to leave comments of any thoughts, questions, concerns, or just like ideas that pop in your head as I was speaking. I love to hear from y'all, and you're always welcome to share. Feel free to share this video as well, wherever you see fit. I'm okay with that. I'm open to that. At any rate, thank you very much for watching. I hope you find yourselves. I hope you find the people that you need to be with. And finally, but first and foremost, I hope all of you have a wonderful day.